People who have already gone through scripting on scripting or Ansible, I mean, some form of scripting, some form of automation you have done in the course, or maybe if you have done somewhere else, any scripting, any kind of automation, especially if you have used Ansible, then this will be very easy for you to understand and also learn and quickly also include in your day-to-day automation tasks. Terraform. So Terraform is one automation tool that's really picking up in the market, and the reason is quite simple. Well, we use the sorry, we used to hear this word infrastructure as a code. I mean, it came up with, I think, Chef. When Chef came in, infrastructure as a code, then Ansible infrastructure as a code, Puppet infrastructure as a code, and Terraform also infrastructure as a code. So now all these automation tools are infrastructure as a code. So which one is right for us, and which one do we really use, and which one should we select for which task? That has become critical now. Now see, infrastructure as a code, there was this word, but actually it is given to you by Terraform. Okay. Now we know Vagrant, right, from the class. Vagrant is a truly infrastructure as a code, but it's for our local machine. I understand it's for a local machine, but it's truly infrastructure as a code. It creates infrastructure through the code, right? But our configuration management tools like Ansible, Puppet, Chef, all these are mostly targeted to OS related tasks, where they expect already the server to be running, and they're going to do some, task, execute steps, commands, scripts on those existing operating system, on this existing machine. Whereas Terraform starts one level up from that, okay? Or should I say from a very ground level. It will help you create the infrastructure itself. So it is popularly used to automate cloud services like AWS, Google Cloud, Azure, DigitalOcean, etc., etc. But now it's not just limited to that. Now Terraform is giving you more than that. You can do also system automation with Terraform, but I don't recommend that. You should really use combination of tools to get best out of your DevOps lifecycle. Terraform is great when it comes to infrastructure automation, but when you want to do system automation, Ansible is the best currently. But if you don't even want to provision systems, I mean, you provision the system, but you want to use your containers, and if you're going to use containers, then I think Terraform and container are going to be a great combination. Okay, where you don't need to worry about dependency installation and configuration changes and all, where you just fetch the Docker image and you just run it. So to run the image, to run the container, all you need is infrastructure, which Terraform can give for you. Okay, I'll send you a link, which is a very good read. I really liked it, so I'm going to share with you in the email. And Terraform works with most of the configuration management tool like Ansible and stuff like that. Okay, don't worry, we don't have too much slideshow. Okay, just the introduction. And Terraform doesn't have any programming language. It has its own language, which they call it as Terraform language, which is similar to JSON, little less syntax in that. Okay, but it is its own language in itself. Okay, right. So everything needs to be automated, in also the infrastructure, right? So you can manage your infrastructure centralized from Terraform. Now you will see, can I compare this tool with any other automation tool? Yes, sure, CloudFormation from AWS, but CloudFormation is only for AWS. Terraform is for almost every cloud technology out there. So if you ask me, should I go with Terraform or CloudFormation, I would recommend Terraform, because then you not only can automate your AWS tasks, but you can automate other things as well. But if there is a client requirement or need that you definitely need to use CloudFormation, then you can definitely go with that. Once you have hands on Terraform and Ansible, CloudFormation is going to be really cakewalk. Okay. So let's install Terraform. We can install Terraform on any Linux or Windows machine or MacBook also. It's just a simple binary that you just download and just start using it. Okay. So we'll be setting up an EC2 instance. Now you can install Terraform and set up Terraform on your laptop also, and there's not going to be any problem with that, not at all, except for network. If your internet speed, if you have high-speed internet, then no problem at all. Okay, it doesn't use great many resources. It just makes API calls, like you access website, right? Like that, just make API calls. Okay, so you can say behind the scene it is just accessing some websites like that. So it's not going to take too much resource. So you can run it on your laptop also without any problem. So, but I'm doing it on an EC2 instance. It's because I want really high-speed network, so it quickly execute the task because I don't want you to be waiting. So you can use any OS. I'll go with Ubuntu. And from the very beginning, I'm going to take you through the documentation so you don't get stuck anywhere later also when you're performing your work. And I'm going to name it on the name of a dinosaur. Tyrannosaurus. S-O-U-R. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Hold on a second, I'll just Google it. Tyrannosaurus. You know Tyrannosaurus? It's that famous dinosaur. So I'll name it on Tyrannosaurus. Let's create a security group. Terra-SG. My IP. Let's create a key pair. Terra-key. That's all for now. So I think mostly it should be preferred that you run Terraform on your local machine or outside of cloud infrastructure, because you're managing the cloud infrastructure with Terraform. So it's better you put it out. Again, it's going to be your choice, okay? It's not going to be any problem with that. So by the time this comes up, let's go to Terraform documentation. So follow along the documentation. Terraform documentation has greatly improved from the previous session I've taken to now. It has greatly improved. Plus, there's a new version of Terraform now, and we may encounter some hiccups while we're executing Terraform scripts, but we'll sort it out, okay, on the fly. So if you're already using Terraform, you may see there are a lot of changes now in Terraform in terms of writing your code. Syntax itself, variable syntax stuff. So, you can go to the introduction, read about Terraform, what it is, Terraform use cases, so you can understand when to choose this, okay? Or how Terraform compares with other software. You can make that comparison and, make a final decision which one would you use. But I would say don't go through what it says. Just think about it. Terraform, think for infrastructure automation and system automation, Ansible. That's going to be the best combination. Plus, if you have Docker, then it's a cherry on the cake. And here you have getting started guide. So anytime you're going through the session, but later, let's say after 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, then you get a chance to work on Terraform. So it's very easy to lose what you have learned. So you can very easily go with the getting started guide. It's very nice with screenshot and it's really awesome. I loved it. This new thing, okay? So you can follow that one. Terraform documentation, just go there, okay? Really nice piece of getting started, okay? And updated for 0.12. So we're going to install the new version of Terraform.
Imran, you just repeated one question, right? For infrastructure automation, Ansible, and
Docker. You're talking about Docker?
yeah, you just repeated one question for infrastructure automation. It's better to go for Ansible, right?
Infrastructure automation.
Yeah,
Terraform.
infrastructure. Okay.
Okay. Terraform, and the other one is from AWS. There's a CloudFormation, but that is for AWS only. Okay. So age-old automation tool. It's not so different than Terraform when it comes to doing automation. Yeah, you can check about that. It's a very, very popular automation service. Actually, it's a service from AWS, but it is for AWS, within AWS, and that's all. Okay, so I am in this machine and I'm going to install Terraform, and this is very easy. So I'm just gonna Google install Terraform. So it's just a simple binary. and they're giving document and videos for that as well. Okay, so that's pretty awesome. But where is my link to appropriate package? Okay, go to appropriate package. Linux 64-bit. Okay, let's copy this link. So you can download it on Windows, and same works on the Windows. Oh, I need to install unzip. Okay, I need to have this unzip. Unzip Terraform 0.12. So when you do that, it simply gives you a binary called Terraform binary file. We're just gonna move it to USR local, so we can use it as a command. And I'm not gonna need that one. Let's clear the screen. Like what? Uh-oh. I should have moved it to USR local bin actually, huh? Anyways, I will go there to USR local, and I'm gonna move this Terraform binary to bin directory. Okay, that should be good. USR local bin. Okay, that's where you should put it. So you can use it as a command. Terraform -- help, and there you go. Terraform is already installed. Yeah, only that much. I mean, really. Okay, so we will create a directory called TerraCode. That's a stupid name, and let's live with that. And in that, I'm gonna create exercises. Okay, like exercise 1, and we'll do write some script over there, and then we'll move to exercise 2, exercise 3, like that. So you have a point of revision. Okay, now as we say, Terraform can do infrastructure automation. Let's go back, Terraform documentation, docs. Okay, so what all Terraform can automate? You can click here on provider references, and you see there are quite major cloud available over here: AWS, Azure Active Directory, Azure Stack, Helm, which is for Kubernetes, PostgreSQL, Packet, Oracle Public Cloud. That's also cloud. Okay, Oracle Public Cloud, Grafana. So you see not many things over here. Okay, but don't get terrified. The big thing will be for the cloud provider, but let's check HTTP. Okay, what it can do with HTTP? Well, it can really just access the URL and just tell you whether it's passed or failed. Okay, with some option. So some providers are like this, so simple, but we are looking it for cloud automation, especially AWS. So let's click on AWS. And here's some example usage. You have to create a file. In that file, you have to put this information, which is going to create a VPC. Okay, don't worry, we'll do it. And you'll be thinking all of a sudden directly VPC, and that's just some example. And so in AWS provider, you have different AWS services that it can automate, right? Athena, Backup, Batch, CloudFormation, CloudWatch, Code Build, Code Commit, right? EC2, and we'll get started with EC2 because that's where everyone gets started. So AWS instance, let's click on this. I'm just taking you through the documentation, okay? So data, AWS instance, foo, instance ID, and it creates the instance. Okay, don't worry, I'll help you how to understand that. Once you know how to write a basic code of Terraform, then again it's going to be all about going through this documentation and getting the right resource. These are called as resources. Like in Ansible, we have modules. In Jenkins, we have plugins. Here we have resources. Okay, resources, and these resources have attributes. Like Ansible has modules, and it has options in that modules. Okay, so let's use that, and let's write a script. So a script name is going to be, let's give instance, what, I'll give some different name, my instance. Wow, that's very different, right? My instance dot tf. So it ends with tf. Okay, its script ends with tf. Right, so first thing that you give over here is going to be the provider information. So you have to tell Ansible it's looking for which provider, AWS, and then curly brace, like a Python dictionary. Okay, and this, it's all about like that only, dictionaries and then key value pairs. So you will see so many times that it's just a dictionary, vertical dictionary, and you won't be wrong. Okay, so it's this Terraform code is in between JSON and YAML, you can say. Okay, so in provider AWS we have to give information like the authentication, access underscore key. So that's the variable of key that you give, equal to, you give the value of the access key, and then you give the secret key. So we are giving information about the provider and the authentication mechanism, and we can give other things like region. So we don't need to mention region again and again. We can say region. So we are using what, EU West 1. Hey, now you know it's showing region name and their code here also. See that? That's new thing. EU West 1. So AWS UI also has changed a lot, like in last 1 or 2 weeks. Okay, so many things have changed, new things got added. You know, it's really getting tough to keep up, but we have to. Okay, so that's the provider information. I have not given any access key and secret key because I don't want to reveal my IAM access key and secret key in front of you. I'm gonna do it. So now we write resource. Okay, resource. So we are going to use the resource AWS underscore instance. It should be in double quote, and that's what it says currently. And every resource will have a name. Okay, so let's give name as intro. So like we're introducing Terraform, right? And then again the dictionary, and put the attribute in the dictionary, like AMI equal to so and so, instance underscore type is equal to so and so. Okay, so it's going to be like that. Okay, resource, the resource that you want to use, and you name a resource, whatever name you want. Okay, and then you are going to refer to that resource with that name. And then there are a lot of options you can use. You can check in the documentation. So you've seen AMI availability zone. You want to place it into a specific availability zone, you can mention that. Okay, yeah, let's do it, man. What's the big deal? Availability zone. I will enter those values. You have things like key name. You know, let's create a key. For now, manually we'll create, and later we will create it automatically through Terraform itself. Create key pair. I'll say dino-key PEM file. That's a new option. Okay, PEM or PPK for PuTTY, and people were really wanted to convert it to PPK if they're using PuTTY. So now it's an option. You can just download a PPK file, but we need just PM. Told you a lot of things changed. Okay, so I created a key. I can give like key underscore name is equal to, we'll give the key name, and then security group. Let's find the security group. So there is two things, security groups. You can give the name of the security group. It's going to be in a list format, or you can give the security group ID. That there. So I use that most of the time. Security group IDs equal to. Now what's going to be the value? Most of the time the value is going to be a string like AMI, the AMI ID. So let's see. Let's get an AMI ID. Launch instance, and let's get Ubuntu only. Okay, you can put it in double quotes, but things are changing now. I think they're going to remove double quotes from here also. Instance type, well, I would like to go with t2.micro because that is under free tier. Availability zone, I'm just taking it just for the sake of taking it, okay? These options just to show you. EU-West-1A, I give that. EU-West-1A. Key name we just created, Dino-key. And now all of these are strings, but security group IDs, you can give multiples of security groups. So it's going to be a list, like a Python list. Okay. And in that you can give the security group ID. So with security group ID, let me give the default security group ID. Okay. You know, if you don't give a security group for an instance here, it will anyways set it in the default security group. Okay, that was something. Now let's execute this code. Now, before I execute, of course, I have to give the access key and secret key. But a quick note on this one. I'm just going to comment it, okay? Do not give access key and secret key in your code. I've seen people doing that. Do not do it, okay? You may accidentally expose it otherwise. Okay, so don't do it. Now you can use, we can do two things. One, I can set a variable. I'm going to set that variable into bash rc file. Basically, I have to export it. Okay, I'll show you that just a moment. So all I have to say is export value and then secret. So Ansible, Terraform is gonna pick up that automatically. I'm not set any value. So I don't. If I log out and log in, this variables will be gone. So better what I do is I set them into bash rc file. Okay, so let's take that. I hope everyone knows access key, secret key. Everyone have done AWS, okay? If you have not done, then God help you in this session. You need to know AWS. Okay, so I need access key and secret key. So I have an access key and secret key, and I'm going to use that one. But for that, I'm going to unshare my screen in a moment. By the time, if you have any questions, right, you can put it on the chat. If it's relevant, I'll just take it right away, or I'll answer it after the session. So you know how to create the access key secret key, right? Go to IAM, create a user, download the access key secret key. Infrastructure automation, Terraform, system automation, Ansible. Yeah, that's going to be good. That's the difference. What Sanjay just said before you, Anish. The on-premise automation, there are not quite many options with Terraform, okay? I mean, you can try, but I won't recommend it. So I already have a user TerraAdmin, and I do have the access key and secret key for this one already downloaded in my machine. If you don't have a user, create a user, download the access key and secret key, and then just put the values. Okay, that's what you're just seeing the access key, okay? But I'm not going to show you the secret key. Okay, I am unsharing the screen. Okay, I did that, but I have not sourced the file. So I have not basically run an export command for that, which I will do. First, let's face an error. So if you face this error, you will know it's a credentials problem. So first command that you're going to execute is going to be terraform init. Now what this does, well, we have mentioned provider AWS. So it's going to download all the AWS necessary libraries for it in .terraform directory. So you can use AWS resources. Okay. Yeah, I'll come to your question, Sanjay, in some time. So Terraform init does that, and now we're going to say Terraform plan. Before you apply the Terraform code, you can run Terraform plan, which will show you how the execution will happen. And first thing it's going to throw as an error that there is no valid credential. It's not able to authenticate to AWS APIs. Right? That's because I have to source that file /rc, or I can just log out and log in, and now it should work. Right. So it shows you a plan, a detailed plan, what it is going to do. A plus represents an addition, minus represents removal. Right. So you can check this out. So it's going to take that AMI and instance type T2 micro. Other things, it's saying like public IP, private IP. This will be known after I apply this. Right. That's what it is telling you. At the finally, you will see 1 to add, 0 to change, and 0 to destroy. It's very important to see at least minimum this one, what changes are happening. Let's do Terraform apply. And again, it's going to ask you, are you sure you want to make change? Right? See, this is plan, and it's asking you again, this is because it's an infrastructure level change. Imagine you are applying something and your production server, because of the apply, the production server gets deleted from AWS cloud. How was that? Right? Quite dangerous, right? So it's very important you see what it is adding and what it is deleting. Okay, most importantly, what it's destroying, that you have to see. Because I've seen so many times people apply the changes and some changes are immutable. Like it needs to delete that resource and then recreate it. Like you're changing the AMI, right? So it's going to stop it, it's going to terminate the instance and then recreate it. Yes, that's a very good point actually, Qureshi. Too much automation is very risky, so you have to be very careful. If you see, I've been telling in every session, right? When you're deleting, be careful. When you're doing this, be careful, be careful. So many places, because I have made mistakes myself. I have learned from my mistake. I have seen people making mistakes. Thankfully, I was very careful in deleting things, but I've seen people deleting huge production databases also. Now imagine that. Okay. So yes, it is risky, but you have to do that anyways. Just be careful, okay? And every tool, if you have this habit of reading, right? Read what system is telling you. So you will rarely come into problem. Read and try to understand.